Hello and welcome to the Sky Spirit channel. It is Friday, the 21st of February. Friday again, they come around so quickly. And this is your daily tarot card reading. So I'd like you to choose a number between 1 and 12 and we'll see what the cards have to say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, if you listen out for your number. Right, if you chose number 1, you have the 8 of Pentacles today. The 8 of Pentacles is about learning, mastering skills. So this card is very much saying, is there an opportunity in your life to learn some new skills, to join a class, take a course, even to listen to somebody as they're sort of imparting their knowledge or their practical skills to you? Is there an area, is there something that you want to learn? Have you been thinking about taking a course, open university, something at college? Is this something that you really have been toying with, or just something that you'd like to know more about? Then today's a really good day to actually seriously consider starting that period of learning, because learning, no matter what stage of life you're in, is generally a positive experience. It's mind expanding, it's great fun. So today I'm going to say that you really need to look and think, if you've been considering a course, considering any type of learning or education, then today, why don't you take action and do that, and don't procrastinate on it anymore? All right, it's time to pick up the metaphorical hammer and chisel, which is what this guy is doing on this card, and to start making an impression with it. So it's no good just talking or thinking about doing something, but it's about picking up your tools and doing it. So take the bull by the horns, get started with whatever it is that you want to learn, and you won't look back. Okay, number two, you have the 8 of Swords. Now, the 8 of Swords is about constraint, feeling stuck. It's about being able to let go of the old story and move on to the new one. So are you living your life as who you think you're supposed to be, but you're not actually being your true self? Or are you living your life within the expectations of somebody else? Or you letting somebody else dictate how you should be or how your life should be run? And do you feel like it's not really authentic, because it's not really what you want to do or where you want to be in life? This card is telling you to break free of those constraints, if I can say it correctly. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but this lady has a blindfold on. So it's like she's blind to her choices because she's surrounded by these obstacles. And these can be put there by herself, but they're very often obstacles that are put in your place by somebody else as well. Maybe it's a bit of a control freak who wants to keep opportunity from you. So it's time to get rid of the blindfold and remove the obstacles and start living your life authentically. Okay, number 3, you have the Knight of Pentacles reversed. Okay, so Knights can sometimes be about speed when they're the right way up. So it's things that come into your life very quickly. But when they're reversed, they can also mean obstacles and stagnation and things not going how you'd like them to be. Now, this is, when it's Pentacles, we're thinking about money here. We're thinking about work, material things in life, okay? So it feels like there's a bit of it's a bit of a dull period, so things just don't seem to be progressing as you'd really like them to progress. Now, this card is telling you that there's really no point hanging around about it, so there's no point just waiting for things to change. Today is a day where you need to mount the horse of action and gallop off into the future and make those changes, okay? So get on your horse, look at what's going on around you, and then progress through and make the changes necessary, because it's almost like a stagnant period that you really need to turn on its head and make movement, like in a stagnant pond, like a river or something without much flow, the water sort of swirling around but not going anywhere very quickly. And in this instance, you really need to paddle faster. Okay, sorry to mix my metaphors and that here, but you really need to, you're the person that's going to have to change things here. Okay, number four. Number four, you have the Hermit reversed. Now, when the Hermit comes out reversed, it's always saying to me that this is a situation where you've isolated yourself for too long, because some isolation and introspection can be a good thing, especially if we're taking on learning new things, or just some self-reflection, learning our lessons from life situations. But when it's reversed, it often means that you've become too isolated. So it can really talk about how you almost aren't making decisions for fear of making the wrong decisions, or you're just locking yourself away from people, or remaining out of too many situations for fear of saying the wrong thing, that sort of thing, making the wrong decisions. So you almost your hands feel tied by the anxiety of change, and so it's easier sometimes just to sit back, to metaphorically stay in the house, or to literally stay in the house, rather than going out and tackling things. So this card is saying to you today that the time has come for you to open the doors of the house and to go out into the world, confront things, do things that scare you. They always say do one thing that scares you every day. I'm not quite sure how I feel about that, because life would be quite hectic and quite scary at times, but it's about confronting your fears, isn't it? It's about doing something that shakes it up a bit. So number four, you need to think about those things today. Okay, number five, you have the King of Wands. So this is all about action. This is a male energy with a lot of leadership, with a lot of vision, somebody who's inspiring, somebody, if it's at work, somebody who gives you good advice or can tell you something about your business or how you are at work, and is going to put you on the right direction. This can also refer to the King of Wands in your own personality and telling you to listen to him. So whether it's an external person or an internal personality aspect, you need to listen today to the King of Wands in you or outside of you. And this is giving you good, honest, conscientious, friendly advice. So it's very grounded, it's very sensible, it's not led by the heart, it's not led by the head, it's a really balanced viewpoint. Okay, so you do well to take that advice from somebody or listen to your own instincts today. Number six, you have the Two of Pentacles reversed. Now, the Two of Pentacles reversed is very much about you're not handling a situation well where you've got to juggle two options, or where there's something where you've got to choose between two things, or something where you're spinning a lot of plates. And this, because it's Pentacles, we're looking at work, we're looking at finances, we're looking at material things, even like houses and homes. So are you taking on too much? And this card would indicate that you're not handling it as well as you'd like to, or it feels a little bit like you're on, when you're in the gym and you're on a treadmill. I'm talking like I'm in the gym, often I'm not. But when you're on a treadmill and suddenly it starts going too fast and your legs are going faster and faster and then you fall off. Well, this card has got that kind of energy about it. So it's basically things are getting a little bit on top of you and you really feel like you could do with a break. So I'm going to say this card is telling you to take that break, or to delegate some of those responsibilities, just to slow that treadmill down a little bit for you and to stop you falling off the end because it's going too fast. Okay, so don't take on too much. Think about easing up on the pressure and giving yourself a bit of an easier ride. Okay, number seven, you have the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords is about needing a big rest from something and some recovery time, or it's about actually having that recovery time. So you're either in a position where you're healing from something and you're really taking a back seat and taking some time to recover your energies, or you need to do that. So have a look at what's going on around you today, number seven, and decide whether you need to take some time out to heal, or whether you're actually going through a healing process at the moment. If you are actually going through a healing process right now, this card is telling you that you're doing the right thing. You're on the right track, because you can't pour from an empty vessel, okay? So there's no way that you can move forward through life being of any use to yourself or other people if you're constantly frazzled because you're, taking on too much, doing too much. So it's time to have that big rest. And if you are having the big rest, you're doing the right thing. This can also be a card where it's saying to take a back seat from something. So if there's a decision that's particularly playing heavily on your mind, it can be, this card can say, yeah, all right, don't react all of a sudden. Take some time to think about things. So retreat from a situation and contemplate. And if you're in a position where you've been ill, your recovery is doing really well, and keep resting. And this is a really good card for healing. Okay, number 8. Number 8, today you have the Chariot reversed. Now, the Chariot is about movement, and it's about forging a path through things. But when it's reversed like this, it's about difficulty in doing that. So you might be experiencing a time where it feels like that forward momentum that you've enjoyed in the past is stilted, or there's things getting in the way, or perhaps you don't feel like you've got the energy to progress as quickly as you'd like to. Now, the advice of this card is to stop pushing, to stop driving the chariot forward, and to take more of a back seat, and to just allow the chariot to be drawn forward by these two, I want to say dogs, but they're like, on this card, on this illustration, they're like Egyptian sphinxy type dogs. But they're drawing the chariot forward, okay? So this card is saying to you, sit back and relax. Stop trying to push things. Stop trying to force things, and just go with the flow. Okay, number 9. Number 9, you have the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is about something moving into your life quite quickly. And with it being cups, this could very well be a new love interest, or certainly a new phase of a relationship. If you're already in a relationship, that is. This is your knight in shining armor. So whether you're single and looking for that knight, or whether you already found your knight, this is a new phase, and this is an energy that's going to be really highlighted for you today. So if your knight in shining armor is already in your life, today could be a day when you really show your appreciation to that particular person, and recognize how much joy they actually bring to your life. And if you're still looking for that person, then maybe they're going to come into your field of influence today. Look out for that person. It doesn't mean to say that they're going to knock on your door, but maybe you'll interact with them on social media. Maybe you'll pass them in the street. Maybe you'll speak to them in a shop. Maybe they'll catch your eye. Just be aware that this energy is around you. Okay, number 10. Number 10 is the Page of Wands. Now, pages can very often mean messages. So they can be written communications. They can be a phone call, or some good news by letter. So this is a very optimistic card. And it's almost as well, it's about curiosity. So it's telling you to don't hide your light under a bushel when it comes to being curious about things and stepping into new situations. So look out for a good message, okay? Some news coming to you that's really good news, possibly a phone call or a letter, which is giving you some of that good news, which we all love so much. But it's also about keeping your youthful inspiration, sense of curiosity, vibrant and alive, okay? So don't let yourself become jaded, okay? Always be that curious youth stepping into the future. Okay, number 11, you have the Empress reversed. The Empress reverse can be talking about a lack of creativity, or lacking concentration. So you're not manifesting what you could be manifesting because you're sort of not focused on what you really want, and you're finding it quite difficult to go in the right direction, and you're doubting yourself. So you're wondering whether you've got a situation right, whether you've read it right, or whether you've actually deluded yourself. So you're sort of not trusting your own judgment here. It can also mean that you're flitting from one thing to the next and not really focusing on what you need to do. Now, this can be talking about work, it can be material, it can be love. If it's to do with love, it can sometimes even indicate that you're involved in some infidelity, shall we say. So it's almost like that flitting between two things energy again. But it doesn't have to be that. It's that lack of focus, lacking of knowing where you really want to be, who you want to be with, what you want to be doing. So the advice of this card is to look at your life objectively. So I want you to look at it almost from above, as if you were looking at somebody else's life, and weigh up where you're lacking focus. What are the really important things, and what are the things that are really just sort of clouding your vision or are getting in the way, things that are unnecessary or that aren't serving your greater purpose. Okay, so I really want you today, number 11, to focus and to think about where you really want to be in life. If there are decisions around your love life to be made, then it's going to be in your interest to make those decisions sooner rather than later, and then focus on what you really want. Okay, and finally, number 12 is the Devil reversed. Okay, so the Devil reversed is about being in recovery or release from a particular situation that feels like binding. If you look at the illustration on the Devil, we have the two people from the Lovers card here, and they're bound to this like pillar which the Devil's sitting on top of. So when it's reversed, it's like the binds, the ties, the chains are being broken, and you're moving away from this period. Now, it can be a physical recovery. It can also be an emotional or mental recovery. It can be a release from something that bound you, some release from, sometimes it comes up when there's a divorce, the end of an abusive relationship, a release from a job that wasn't satisfying. So it's about breaking those chains and moving forward from that position where you've been tied to something. Okay, so number 12, expect those chains to fall away today. But again, I would say that not a lot in life happens without us taking some kind of action. So I'm saying don't just sit back and wait for this to happen. If you're in a position where you can make a change that's positive, then always make it. I hope you've enjoyed today's reading. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, if you could, that would be fantastic. Have a lovely day ahead and stay weird.